Aloha mai kako. My name is Jordan Lerma, and I'm a research associate, field assistant, tech support, drone pilot, jack of all trades at Cascadia Research Collective. I was born and raised on Hawaii Island, and I'm proud to be a native Hawaiian working with an incredible team to learn more about the marine mammals around Hawaii. There are 3 things I want to share with you today. We want to provide an update on what Cascadia Research is doing to address the issues of inclusion and diversity in marine mammal science, introduce you to some of the Hawaii office staff, and give you insight into how we collect and process our data. And I want to share my story on how I got started in this field in hopes that we can increase the interest in marine mammal science. 5 years ago, I was new to everything, and by that, I knew nothing. My education is in finance and economics, and at that point in my life, the only college science class I'd ever taken was astronomy. I flew drones and got relatively good at flying drones over species like humpback whales and spinner dolphins. It was thrilling to record these behaviors with the drone and share them with folks on social media. This clip in particular attracted a lot of attention, both good and bad, but made me realize the power that videos, photos, and social media had to influence conservation. This was my view 5 years ago, my first whale tales. I remember sitting in the crowd watching Ralph Pace talk about how photography went hand in hand with science, and Dr. Robin Baird presented about the various species of marine mammals I had no idea existed around Hawaii. As part of the experience, I went on one of the celebrity whale watches, and lucky for me, Robin was the guest celebrity on board. Though we only chatted briefly, he extended an invitation to volunteer for a day on an upcoming project off of Kona. One day as a volunteer off Kona led to a couple of days off Kauai and Oahu, and eventually they just couldn't get rid of me. One of the aspects of this research project that doesn't get a lot of attention is the volunteers. In general, during our field projects, we have 1 to 3 volunteers that come out and get to experience our work firsthand. For people like me who didn't spend a lot of time on boats, it was a great way to learn new skills and actually contribute to ongoing science and research. It's also a great way to introduce educators in the community to marine mammal science and provide experiences they can bring back into the classroom. In 2020, we created a committee to discuss and guide Cascadia Research to be a more inclusive and equitable organization. We are focused on increasing the diversity of our workforce and addressing the issue of unpaid internships. There's so much to unpack regarding these issues, so we've created a page on our website dedicated to communicating our mission, goals, and provide updates from ongoing initiatives. Annette, while not managing our cohort of interns or writing and revising manuscripts, keeps the bottlenose dolphin catalog up to date.
I am Annette Harnish, and I am a research assistant with the Hawaii project at Cascadia Research Collective. I started at Cascadia back in summer 2017, and in April 2018, I transitioned to a staff position. Most of my work at Cascadia right now centers around managing the photo ID catalog of Hawaiian common bottlenose dolphins. I use the natural markings and scars that are on the animals in order to identify particular individuals and track them over time. This information is useful for learning their life histories, what different areas they're using, seeing who is related to who over time. It's a really rewarding process because I get to know the animals on an individual level. Primarily, we get our photos from dedicated field efforts where Cascadia staff members will be out on small boats looking for animals. But we also get photos from members of the community, people who work or play on the water. And they're kind enough to take photos of the animals that they encounter and send those over to us so that we can increase our sample sizes and get more photos of these animals and learn more about them.
During a regular field project, we can take over 30,000 photos and terabytes of video that need to be sorted and backed up. QA/QC, or quality assurance and quality control, isn't easy, but Alex does a great job of keeping us organized.
Hi everyone, my name is Alex. I started with Cascadia Research in 2011 as an intern. I am the current QA/QC post-project master. My main goal is to go through all of the data sheets, database, and the photos that are collected in the field and dig through them for errors. After a long day out on the water, the Hawaii field team's job is not done. They have to enter their information from the data sheets into the database. They have to sort a bunch of photos that they got into specific categories. They have to make sure everything was as accurate as possible at that time. So tired work can sometimes lead to issues, and it's my job to make sure that everything matches up between all of the different forms of data that come back. I really enjoy the work. It's like solving a puzzle when things don't match up. Advice for others wanting to do some field work. Learn as many different things as you can. And I'm talking like skills that you can apply in the field. So things like driving a car with a trailer attached, things like launching a boat, driving a boat, flying a drone, operating a DSLR camera, making and editing videos, troubleshooting problems. All of these things are very helpful to us, and it sets you apart from other people that might not have those skills. Attitude is also extremely important. Having a willingness to be a team player, to roll with the punches, and to stand on a moving, rocking boat for sometimes from sun up to sundown, if the weather allows, with very minimal snack breaks. So the more skills you can learn, and having an upbeat, positive attitude will take you a long way in this field.
While working with false killer whales, we often try to minimize repeat sampling, which allows us to focus our efforts on individuals we know less about. Flipping through catalogs and matching dorsal fins on the boat is often difficult or impossible. So instead, we email a photo to Sabra, and we get a response with the entire sighting history, and we're able to best select which animals to work with.
My name is Sabra Mahaffey. I'm a biologist with Cascadia Research Collective, and I curate photo identification catalogs for 9 species of whales and dolphins in Hawaii. I started working with Cascadia as an intern in 2005 as a way to gain practical experience in the marine mammal field, and I instantly became fascinated by photo identification. Photo identification uses natural markings to identify and track individuals over time. It is one of the most powerful tools we have to study cetaceans in the field, and it is fundamental to our research in Hawaii. Each photo can provide an incredible amount of life history information about the animals we see on the water, such as when and where an individual is documented, how many times it has been seen, whether it is resident to the island, has been seen moving between islands, or is a pelagic animal, whether it has been seen with a calf, and if we know if it is male or female.
We use a variety of research techniques to study the animals around Hawaii. To talk about satellite tags and spatial data, I'll hand over the presentation to Michaela Cradafil.
My name's Michaela. I've been with Cascadia for 3 years now, and I'm actually a grad student at Oregon State, and I'm still working with Cascadia for my thesis work. But like most people at Cascadia, I started as an intern in 2018, and the past couple of years, most of my work has been pertaining to tag processing. These tags allow us to track animals' movements over longer periods of time. I'll download the data, look it over to see if there's any errors, and then we process it so that we can prepare it for some sort of analyses. So we filter it, we might co-locate it with different environmental variables, how deep the water is at each position or how close the animal is from shore. And I either package that data up and we send it to another graduate student or a collaborator or somebody who's going to be working with the data, like me as a graduate student right now, or we do a lot of analysis in-house as well. I'd say the biggest project I've worked on this past year is looking at how we can delineate important areas for cetaceans in U.S. waters, and it's a nationwide effort, and we have the lead on the Hawaii region. And so I'm essentially looking at all of our sightings data, all of our tag data. Okay, where are the most important areas for each population in Hawaii, and creating boundaries for those. So that's been a really valuable project, compiling a whole lot of data, long-term data sets. I'm born and raised in the Midwest, very far from whales. I never saw a whale before I came to Cascadia, and my ability to learn coding and statistics and apply that was really what got my foot in the door into whale research. Learning actually about the ecology and behavior of whales, that's something you can learn as you go, but coding is what really leveraged my position as a researcher of whales and dolphins in Hawaii.
And lastly, I want to hand this presentation over to Kiana, who is one of our interns here at Cascadia.
My name is Kiana Boyer. I'm an intern here at Cascadia Research Collective. I grew up in Southern California in Orange County, so I've always been really close to the ocean. And I've had an interest in marine mammals since I can even remember. I followed Jordan Lerma on Instagram in high school, and I actually emailed him, and I was like, how did you get your job? Because that's what I want to do. What do I have to do to get your job? And he emailed me back and he said, just get out on the water, go and take some photos, keep up with whale research. And He had also told me about Cascadia Research Collective. I'm on my way to my contributions to whale research, and I'm very excited about that. Advice I have for someone who is just out of school and wants to get involved, just go out and take some pictures and explore the world for yourself. But always apply to internships, jobs, anything. Look for opportunities and always take them. Always apply no matter what. You never know how far you're gonna get with it.
Thank you so much for the privilege to share what we've been up to at Cascadia Research Collective. Please feel free to ask any questions or reach out to me directly via email. More information about the Hawaii Project can be found by scanning this QR code or following the provided links. Aloha and mahalo.